Uh-oh. What's up, YouTube? I apologize. I am slightly not prepared. I did not put on my microphone just yet. Give me like 2 seconds. Okay. Alright, so this video is called The Worst Criticism of Andrew Yang's UBI. Alright, and we are recording. 3, 2, yes. Okay, so I'm recording. 1 second. Let me hit the button on the camera. Alright, my apologies. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. It is Thursday, October the 17th. Today, I just wanted to kind of start talking about this because I'd been mentioning for quite some time that I'm not the biggest fan of UBI, but there are legitimate concerns. And as we prepare to enter Andrew Yang's 10-hour live stream coming up tomorrow, which should be fantastic and exciting, and I really cannot wait for this because I'm really curious as to what those questions are going to be. And after his success during the fourth Democratic debate, we're going to start seeing increased criticism, and finally, we're going to start talking about legitimate critiques of Andrew Yang's plans. As for some odd reason, the mainstream media has given Andrew Yang the opportunity to differentiate himself, and the field has just widened quite a bit. I've been saying for the longest I just did not feel like this is a particularly strong field, and I think that it's starting to become clear as to what this field really looks like when the dust settles. I mean, I've said it I've said it a million times, man. I just don't see Warren winning. I don't see Biden doing it. Sanders just got a stigma tied around his head that's just not going to go away. So the field is just not looking very good. But Andrew Yang is a ray of light in the darkness. He's offering new solutions, new ideas, and he's bringing this idea of universal basic income to the forefront of American politics. And as we are where we are today, and like I said, going in tomorrow, it's going to be the time to start talking about legitimate critiques of universal basic income. But I first want to talk about an illegitimate critique of universal basic income. And what I'm looking at here is this initial research from Finland. Finland did a pilot program. It looks like they handed out 560 euros or $635 per month to a randomly selected group of 2,000 jobless people between 25 and 58. And initial data has shown that there has not been sound is going in and out. 1 second. That's super weird. Give me 1 second. Like, is it sound like it's like clipping, or does it sound like it's, when you say going in and out, what do you mean in and out? Like my connection sounds like it's bad? I checked my audio and visual is out of the audio and visual is out of sync. I have no idea why. If it's like it's off by like 2 or 3 seconds. When I go back and edit the videos, I can sync them fairly easily. I have no idea why the picture is out of sync with the video. I know it's very irritating, but I do not have a solution for that. But that's why I also record these streams. So you see me with the microphone. I'm recording this. I'm recording it to my camera. I get in post. I tape it up, and it looks nice and crispy. You said this. Okay, it's on and off. It's better now. Okay. Well, hopefully, I maintain a decent connection. But yeah, it might just be because I have this microphone and this microphone is a different source than that camera. That might be what's throwing things off slightly. So, sorry guys. It's the Russians, bro. Yes, actually, I don't know if it's the Russians, but I do want to talk about this because, like I said, it's not about. Look, man, I'm a fan. I'm a supporter. All right, I'm a supporter. But I want to talk about this idea of laziness specifically. So I just want to touch briefly on these main things that come out of this article. Like I said, it's they gave out about $635 to 2,000 jobless people between 25 and 58. They didn't find any significant increase in people's ability to find a job in that time. And really, this is actually more a headline than anything. There's actually not really saying too much negative about. They're not really saying too much negative about the idea. They just basically said there didn't seem like there was a big increase, so they don't see any reason. Or actually, it mentions here that Finland may not continue this beyond the 2 years, I guess, that they initially planned to do it. It does point out that. That there was an increase in well-being. People had better outcomes regarding health and outlook and things along that nature, which I think are. I think these are good things. I mean, do we not care about the quality of life, or is it just about whether or not someone's working? It seems like we're really tied to this idea of people. Really tied to this idea of people working. Like that really has to be what it is. But. I just honestly think this is a completely illegitimate critique in general. Once again, a lot of these studies, these pilot studies regarding UBI, they're not the same thing as what we would be doing here. These are means tested, meaning they're looking at people who are jobless or people who are they have some type of condition. They meet a specific quota in order to qualify for the program. That's not what Andrew Yang is proposing. He's going to give it universally, or make it available at least universally to all Americans over the age of 18, which is a completely different idea. So in this case, there's the case in Stockton, California, where they have everyone attached to this debit card, and they're using it to kind of see how people are spending the money. But the problem is when the people are specifically low-income folks, they're going to have a different need for the money than people who are just random, everyday middle Americans who have all their needs met on the regular. So it's just maybe those people are just going to invest the money, or they're just going to invest it in advanced tutoring for their kids or something like that. These might not be things that lower-income folks are thinking about. Depending on where you are socioeconomically, you're going to have different needs, different things you need to address. So a lot of these studies it's apples to oranges. It's not really a fair comparison. But people not being able to find a job, or people who are already jobless not finding a job, I think personally that I don't like when Andrew Yang says that certain behaviors will change radically. I think people who are lazy will continue to be lazy. I think people who are hardworking are going to continue to be hardworking. $1,000 a month isn't going to make people give up their livelihood. There was, interestingly, I can't think of the guy's name, but there was that CEO. Where was that CEO at? Seattle, maybe, who decided to pay all of his employees $70,000. And I was listening to him on, what was he on the other day? Oh, he was getting interviewed by the Young Turks. And it's a good interview. You should definitely check it out. But the interesting thing about that whole idea was the backlash that he received from current employees who were upset that all of these previously lower paid employees were brought up to their level. That I don't think goes anywhere. I think the fact that people being paid an extra $12,000 a year isn't going to make the people who felt slighted by that not want to continue to do what they were doing before. They're not going to say, okay, now I'm equal with people who were under me before, therefore I'm not going to do anything. No, I think they're going to continue to push harder to separate themselves from that other group of people. I think people who are doing nothing will continue to do nothing. Maybe a few of them will, given Andrew Yang's additional policies regarding financial literacy and, treatment for addiction and things. There's vast changes that would happen in society under an Andrew Yang administration. So there are going to be completely different scenarios and outcomes. But to me, it's just, who cares if people are going to be lazy? Like, honestly, I don't care. I'm not a lazy person. That wouldn't make me be lazy. That wouldn't make me give up and say, you know what? I'm done. I'm good. I got 12 grand a year. I'm straight. That's all I ever wanted was 12 grand, just enough to pay for food and a studio apartment. Like that's all I ever wanted in life. I'm good. If you're worried about those people, what are we even talking about, man? This is not a criticism. Like I said, they're legitimate criticisms. I give you a laundry list of criticisms, and that's why I'm not even talking about them until tomorrow, because I think some of them are going to start to come out. I mean, in 10 hours, I imagine Andrew Yang is going to face some slightly difficult questions. I can't imagine that you can do 12 or 10 hours of straight softball questions or just things that he's already answered. Some divisive questions will come up. I think there are going to be some people who have some influence who are going to get their questions put at the forefront, and they're going to get an opportunity to ask some questions. And hopefully we get some real substantive answers. And maybe these will be the answers that other candidates will be using to attack Andrew Yang in the future. But it's clear that he's just got way more answers than people are prepared for. And if you're going to want to attack him, you're going to need a little bit more than talking points. So let's let the man explain his ideas. But all of these other studies you guys are seeing and coming out, because they're going to start coming out now. They're going to start citing Stockton and Mississippi and Finland and all these places. They're going to start digging into the data because they realize, okay, we can't talking point this guy. Let's see what the scientists are saying. And you're starting to see people in these areas are making remarks and statements regarding Andrew Yang's specific plan. There's a video I'm working on right now regarding one person's idea of UBI, but it's a step in the right direction. I don't think anyone thinks that this is the be all to end all. There's the criticism of this just being step one. If people are able to lobby their way into getting this 12,000, the next is going to be 24. The next it'll be 50 or whatever. Like, do you think people are going to force their way to $75,000 a year and nothing will change in society? Come on, man. Yeah, I'm just on here for a little bit. Like I said, I really didn't want to come to you guys with anything. I didn't want to just make the same video that everyone else is making, because there's a lot of videos. So shout out to everybody who's making Yang content, man. There's so much good stuff out right now, and I don't want to just bring the same idea. So I thought I would bring up this article, which is a much older. This is like from February, I think, February 2019. But I definitely see where we're going as far as the attacks that are coming from Yang or coming against Yang. Because the stuff they've been using just hasn't worked. And as I've said, there are legitimate criticisms of UBI. I don't know why they're not using those, but for some odd reason, this laziness critique just keeps coming back up. But I'm not concerned about people being lazy. I'm concerned about people breaking into my house because they want what I have. If $12,000 keeps them at home being lazy, then so be it. I don't care. I'm not gonna give up on life because you gave me 12 grand. Sorry, man. If you don't need the 12 grand, then give it to somebody else. It's not going to, that's actually fantastic. Holistic hot. That's absolutely right. It's not going to encourage people. It's not going to encourage laziness. It's not going to make people do what they don't already do. It's just going to make you more of what you are. If you're somebody who enjoys leisure, then you're going to do a little bit more leisure. If you're somebody who likes to tinker in the backyard and you got a little extra money to work on the things you do in the backyard, it's not going to change your life. One second. I'm trying to. If 12 grand, listen, I know y'all don't know me like that, right? Okay. I started this channel initially, like I previously focused on money making and things like that, which I still do these things, but that was my whole method. My whole logic was like, okay, look, I help you make money and you stay out of my windows. Like, It's not some altruistic thing. I'm not trying to change the world like that. Like I want good for everybody. I want you to feel like there's another way. So that was my whole premise. Like, all right, stay out of people's cars, stay out of the stores. You know what I mean? Stop scamming. You know, if you don't have to do those things, then you can have more options in life. Like that's what I want for people. I want people to have options. More money is going to give you options. That's my interpretation. Maybe a little bit of freedom, but 12 grand is not. You're not buying an island. You're not. It's not over, man. You're good. But yeah, you have, if you have a bad job and you have an opportunity to get away, or even if you have an opportunity to not rush to find a job. Maybe say you lose your job this week and you're looking to start something else, or you're offered an opportunity, but you have to wait maybe 6 weeks before the job opens up, or it's a sales position and there's no base salary. Having a UBI might help you out in that situation. And then when it's over and you go back to working, now you've got a regular income, plus you have your universal basic income or your freedom dividend coming in, and you're able to make better decisions. I don't think you're going to, you're not giving it up, man. You're not, man. And that's why when we were talking about Elon Musk the other day and someone was like, make Elon Musk vice president. No, I don't want Elon Musk. Imagine if Elon Musk was wherever he is now, and he needed that $12,000 a year to actually do what he wanted to do. Because this is a guy who's doing this by himself. He didn't have to do the things that he does. I mean, he's SpaceX and PayPal and Tesla, and what else he do? Solar City. Like, he don't have to do these things. He's good. He could have retired the first time. He's already accomplished more than most people could ever dream, and he's still going because that's just his personality. It's not the 12 grand isn't causing him to give it. He probably made a couple $1 billion last year. Like, people who are billionaires, why do they keep going? They don't quit because they made it. No, it's a certain drive that people have to want to be successful at whatever it is they do. They want to be great. They want more out of life. The people who want more just are going to want more regardless. So please stop telling me that everyone's going to become lazy. If you wouldn't say that you would become lazy if you got 12 grand, then stop it. And if that's the case, why don't you give it up now? As a disabled senior, my life will improve dramatically. I bet, man. Some people are upset when they have to pay taxes to the government or receive a little income tax money return every year and criticize UBI. I want to talk real policy. I want to talk real criticism, okay? And people being lazy is not a real criticism to me. That's so elementary. That means like you didn't even think about this for more than 2 seconds to come up with, oh, people are going to be lazy. No, they're not. People who are lazy are going to be lazy. They were going to be lazy regardless, with or without that money. So be it. Let them do what they do. As I said, if people who are lazy, who do crime, stop doing crime but remain lazy, that is a net win. If people feel a little bit better about life and they make better decisions, or they don't feel the need to take away from someone else's happiness, infringe on someone else's happiness, that is a win. It doesn't have to be that they go out and start a new company and they become a multimillionaire. Like, that would be great, but if they have a better quality of life, that's a win for society. Inflation is the biggest criticism from experts. Yeah, but see, the odd thing is that we don't ever talk about that. Like, I mean, if you really look at not say ever. If I look at all of the criticisms from UBI, I would say that inflation makes up about 15% or less of the criticisms of UBI. Laziness is like 30%. Then it goes from laziness to how will he pay for it? That's another one. That'll probably be 30%. What's the other one? There's more. I'm just trying to think of the ones that I hear, because mine are not the common ones. Mine are the ones that you had to think for like a little bit more than 2.5 seconds to come up with. But I do think inflation is a legitimate thing. But I don't understand why inflation doesn't come up more frequently. it's actually kind of surprising to me. It actually kind of concerns me as to why it doesn't come up, because it seems so logical that you would just bring that up and say, okay, well, here's the problem with UBI. But that gets pushed to the back. I feel like that there's some type of cover up that I'm missing. That's why I keep trying to dig deeper into this, because I mean, perhaps I'm missing something, but them throwing out laziness is just like, what? Come on, man. It will cut back on theft. With them having better quality of life, they might have better perspective, feel more helpful. Yeah, man, look, man, people just don't want to feel like, what's the point? Like, when you get to the what's the point, like, there's no person more dangerous than somebody who has nothing to lose, okay? Those are the type of people you don't want to encounter. You don't want to ever encounter somebody who has nothing to lose in any facet of life, because that person will go harder and be more reckless than anyone you can ever imagine. So you want as few of those people around as possible. And if giving a couple of people at the bottom money to squander, to do whatever they want, to make them feel a little bit better about, their day-to-day life, then so be it. And you take your money and use it to build a life that gets you far and far away from that person, and you'll be fine. But don't let your concern about someone being lazy impact you negatively. Not to mention, because this is the other thing that just keeps blowing my mind, like, you're getting the money too. It's not like they're getting the money and that's it. You'll get the money too. So you can maintain that same distance away from that person that you had at the beginning. Like, I don't think it's going to bring that person to your next door. They're not going to be your next door neighbor now. No, you're good. Where will the live stream be held? I have not yet confirmed where this live stream will be held. I heard it's like a multi-platform thing, so I imagine it'll be on a couple of different things. I mean, maybe probably Reddit at some point, Twitter, and I mean, I don't know. Don't get me lying. I don't know where it's actually going to be at, though. But hop on the Yang app. I'm sure it'll be posted soon. The inflation issue is kind of debunking Alaska. When their dividend is coming in, their stores lower prices. Well, Eileen, listen, I'm going to let Andrew Yang defend his position, but I do think there are legitimate concerns that will happen in the housing market as a result of a universal basic income. Look, you're not going to just let anybody move next door to you. That's just not going to happen. So there are things that are going to have to happen, or things that are going to happen. I don't know what those things are. I feel like there will be some type of inflation in the housing market. I'm not saying it's going to go up $1,000 a month. I'm saying something's going to happen. Okay. I've been watching the history of this country a little bit too long to think that there will never be unintended consequences to any policy change. So, I mean, I still think it's a step in the right direction, but and I think that Yang is the person who I would want to be president when a massive policy change like this is happening, because he's the type of person who's going to look at data and see what the problems are and see how we can actually address them, instead of just leaving them for the next president to deal with. But am I going to ask a question? I think I might throw a couple questions out there. Budget Sound says I might gift you order a Yang. Okay. All right. I guess I got to get my shirt. I appreciate you, Budget Sound. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get my shirt. He's hosting it on his site. Okay. Cool. So we'll just check his website. At first, I can see the prices go up because. Yeah, I mean, I just think that it's just a unique situation. I mean, like, it's unique because it's everybody. It's unique because it would be the entire country. But it's also unique in that, there's a lot of competition. I don't think you can raise the price. Like, I don't like the examples that come up when they're like, oh, I'll raise the price on burritos. Like, well, that's a horrible example. Talk about middle-class income, or talk about a middle-class neighborhood and what would happen if that became more affordable. Or talk about private schools and how that would impact them. Like, there are legitimate things that you can say, or legitimate scenarios where I see prices having to rise in order to compensate for something becoming more available to more people. I think price is a bright barrier to entry intentionally in many things. So I can't see that advantage going away. I don't think they're going to be like, oh, okay, great, everybody can come here now. No, I'm not that naive, but still a step in the right direction. And if this is the catalyst to you creating a life that puts you in a position where you can go out and afford these gaps in quality of life improvement, then great. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem with that. It's unique in that the government might have done one thing right. John, you're the MVP. Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of interesting things that are gonna they can happen. So, but I just want to get off this laziness thing, and I think that's so weak. Like, if you're gonna criticize UBI, give me some legitimate criticism. Just don't give me some laziness. I don't care about laziness. I really don't. I don't, man. Like, I know a lot of lazy people. I don't hang around those people. Like, they're not in my way. They're not keeping me from doing what I'm trying to do. None of them. I'm not. Those people can't be around me for a reason. Those people, you probably don't want them around you. Or if you're one of them, great. You're not gonna. This is not. Lazy people probably won't even vote. For real. More money, less problem. I don't know what Biggie was talking about. I think it's very short term. Housing price could increase, but long term is probably okay. There's no incentive. There's more incentive for people to move to low cost areas. I can't go with you on that one, NCX. I'm not mad at your optimism, but I can't go down that road with you. I just don't see it. $12,000 for a basketball front row seat. Oh man, total goods produced and total currency printed unchanged. How can it significantly inflate with competition? Why don't I mention Uber and Lyft when talking about self-driving automation? I think he'll reach more. I have been saying that for the longest. So I'm working on my Yang story video, but since I'm a filmmaker, I gotta go in. I can't make a regular one. But that's really what led me to Andrew Yang, is the idea of Uber, Lyft, Amazon. In 2016, I began the path to arriving at supporting Andrew Yang. It wasn't an overnight thing. It was me looking at online business opportunities and things like that, and seeing that Amazon and Uber and Lyft and their business model was shortcutting everything that I was looking to do, and it's just wait a minute, why? What? Huh? So I've been on this anti-Uber, anti-Amazon campaign ever since. It just made me sound like a crazy conspiracy theorist until now that Andrew Yang is running on the idea of UBI and just looking at the future. It's okay, now I feel slightly gratified. I'm not going crazy. People will move out of high cost areas with UBI. I don't know about that, fam. I don't know about that. You will see a rise in home purchases after UBI? Maybe. But yeah, I mean, I feel like the Uber and Lyft market, that the entire sharing economy should be supporting Andrew Yang. I don't understand why he doesn't specifically target that market. It seems like it would make perfect sense, especially considering he supports the California bill to turn the sharing economy employees into employees, or at least to get them, more rights, or at least force Uber, Lyft, and these companies to reevaluate their business model. I don't know what he's doing, but he's got a master plan. I saw him perform in the debate last night, or 2 nights ago. I have no questions for the man right now. So that's all I wanted to talk about, man. Like I said, I think the idea of this whole UBI creating this massively lazy population is utterly absurd. It's a non-argument. It's an absolute waste of time. This is not a legitimate concern. This is not a legitimate critique of universal basic income. There are real concerns. There are real problems. There are real unintended consequences that I think that I can foresee. But this one This is not one of them. This is not something that anybody should be worrying about. And if somebody you're talking to has this argument as to why they can't support universal basic income, it's not somebody worth talking to, because they're clearly just not open-minded. And that's fine. Andrew Yang wants to make people think harder. That is somebody who's not willing to think. They're looking for the lowest hanging fruit possible. And if lazy is all they got, then that's what they're gonna get, man. We can't concern ourselves with this. This is not it. That's not it. So if you're worried about lazy people, you need to find yourself a new group of friends. Okay. You can't seriously be worried about those people affecting your ability to have a prosperous life. Not to mention, you're also going to be receiving this exact same amount of money every single year. And if you hate these social programs, you should love the idea of getting rid of all the people who are already lazy receiving these government benefits in the first place, right? I mean, I think that people who are fiscally conservative or people who don't like government bureaucracy, they should be all over this. This should be their dream scenario. You're finally going to have the opportunity to get rid of all of these social programs, or significantly cut the spending in these social programs. You shouldn't be complaining that people are going to be lazy. You should be cheering that something is going to be done about the thing that you've had a problem with all of these years. So I'm going to get out here. I got to pick up my kid from school because, I'm lazy. You guys have a productive day, man. Like I said, I'm going to get this video tightened up and re-uploaded. And yeah, shoot me any ideas, comments, concerns, whatever, things that you guys see that are untapped. Because like I said, I don't want to make redundant content. There's a bunch of other great videos out there on things that I could talk about, but I want to try to bring something new and fresh, or at least something old that you haven't thought about in a while, to the table every single time. So you guys have a great day. I will see you guys soon. Peace.